YouTube, what's going on? Feels like it's been a while, because it has. I've been really busy. Figured, really throughout the week there hasn't been anything that super sparked my interest in order for me to do these videos. Not these, you know what I mean? A particular topic that didn't spark my interest is what I mean. That came out wrong. But, so what I wanted to talk about is look, I ain't trying to offend nobody, but there's a lot of stuff going on, right? A lot of stuff going on. I see that, man, are people easily swayed. They don't ask questions. They don't look and see what's going on around them. And they just follow the herd, right? Like sheep. One of my questions are, why are the churches not shedding light on some of the things that are going on? And some churches are. I've seen, very few. I know of one church that's showing. But listen, there's so many things going on that I feel that the churches need to step it up. Where I live, there's a church every block. There's so many churches. Are these churches preaching the word, right? Are they giving us what we need? Are they really telling us what's going on so that we understand enough to make a change ourselves? Because by the way, how we operate on this earth, the government is ours. They work for us, and people have forgotten that, and people have gotten lazy, and they say that there's nothing that they can do. They have no clue why we have representatives in there, and the fact that you can call up your representative, the fact that you can gather people together and threaten to not re-elect your representative. We're supposed to elect everybody in our government, all right? So one of the things, we got chemtrails everywhere. If you actually did your research on chemtrails, can't do it by Google because Google's biased as F. You know what I'm talking about. But Google is very far left leaning. It will sway your opinions. It will put up what it's supposed to put up, okay? Google is a monopoly just like Facebook, blah, blah, blah. So many different organizations out there are not for us. They're not helping us. They're not showing us the cures for some of these diseases. So for the chemtrails, those white lines that you see up in the sky, what do you think, that's just jets? Look at a normal jet, it doesn't have that, all right? When you look at a normal jet like Delta, they're not showing up lines everywhere. No, it's only particular ones. Those aren't normal commercial fleet. Those jets are up there putting that stuff up on purpose. The particulates sit in the air and they drop to the earth. Those particulates have nanotechnology in them. One thing I'd like to tell you that you may not know about, that some of you will know about, is they are injecting these nanoparticulates in you. Nanoparticulates. I'm about to say nanotechnology, but that works too. So when they do this, you know what? Let me not even go into it. Let me hit up reports because, man, I can go on for days on something, right? I'm about to go down an avenue I don't need to go down. Listen, the chemtrails have got stuff that's not good for you. Period. That's not something you want to look up and see. It has been bought and paid for to purposely mess with your system. Okay? It is not a conspiracy theory. It's an actual problem. All right. Now, the laced food, the things in our food, I've already spoken about this. For example, when you go to the grocery store, you know that you're supposed to be going to the outside aisles, right? And you want to look at, when you get your fruits and vegetables, you want to make sure that it was grown organically. You want to make sure it's got the organic symbol on there and all that good stuff. You don't want all those pesticides and this and that. And nanotechnology is now, it's in the food that we eat. That's nanotechnology, and that's when they're putting their things together that it's technology in cells, very tiny cells, and they make it. And in some nanotechnology, some of this technology, when you microwave it, gives off a smell. It activates certain particles in these items and gives off a smell. Or the taste, once you microwave it, it changes the flavor, this and that. This is legit disgusting technology. Or you might think that you're getting a wine, red. But when you go and filter out the nanoparticles, it is now white. or you just captured all of it because it was all actual engineering. All right, that is disgusting. Keep that in mind. These are things that are happening, and a lot of companies have invested in this. I saw a long list of companies that invested, and I was like, oh my God, in this technology. Listen, it's crazy. And this is one of many things that I think that the church needs to be talking about. They need to make sure they have an understanding because on God's green earth, we're supposed to be eating properly, right? We're trying to live, but they're not making it happen, are they? A doctor kills more people than guns. Okay, and if you guys are doctors out there, I'm sorry, but you know that if you did your research on the medicine that you're giving, I know there's a lot of medicine out there, and you've been told certain things, but if you just research the very pieces, parts, ingredients in that medicine, you're gonna find neurotoxins. You're gonna find neurotoxins. And what's a neurotoxin? A neurotoxin is a substance that's poisonous or destructive to the tissue in the body, or I meant to say in the brain, spinal cord, and nervous system. The brain and the spinal cord make up the nervous system. But there's neurotoxins everywhere in the things that we're eating. And for you to say, oh, it's just a thing. No, it's not just a thing. It doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to have some ridiculous shelf life to where it doesn't even spoil. It does not have to be this way. And the fact that everybody overlooks it and says, oh, well, and then keeps going at it, look at where we are. We're not in a good place. People are not living longer. They're not. This is a problem. And I think the churches can really help out with that. I really do. So all the churches were to really assist in humanity, help us out, I think we can be a lot better. Because in my town and in other places, everywhere I've lived, there's a church on every corner. All right, that's some real power. If we could get the churches to play ball with us, okay? I'm not saying they're against us, and church is a good thing. They preach the good word, and everyone there on that day and moment has good faith, and it's good to listen to good, positive information. But at the same time, don't be distracted. What are they doing? Please start talking about your fellow man, human being, how we can live longer. Another thing, well, let me just mention one more thing. So I was talking about the vegetables, and then I've already spoken about the meat, right? Listen, it's fine to eat meat. To me, I think it's fine, but it needs to be normal meat. As you know, or you don't know, hormones and antibiotics, that's not good. So get meat that's not raised on that. That stuff will tear you up. You're not supposed to eat it. Your body's not sure how to handle it, and it leaves behind a residue that can later on cause cancer because it builds up and that residue stays there. If you're not cleansing, if you're not fasting, that residue is going to stay there and it's going to keep on building. So keep that in mind, please. And the fluoride. Fluoride is a neurotoxin. They say it's for better teeth, but no. We're still getting cavities. You're still going to get cavities. No, the fluoride's really bad. You don't know what levels that they're putting it in, and it wreaks havoc on the body. Don't Google it, DuckDuckGo it. But really get the skinny on fluoride. BeBrainFit.com. I went to that website. There's a million websites. BeBrainFit.com. That don't even sound right, but it's fine. It gives you the information that you need. Oh, God damn it. Maybe I do these videos too late. Freaking always yawning. So that's the fluoride. And I think we need to shed light on something like that. That's a big thing. That's another neurotoxin. That's something that you're not supposed to be giving your children. That's something that needs to be filtered out of your water. And it's led to so many different issues like Alzheimer's and a whole slew of other things that I'd like to have written down. But for some reason only Google works on my laptop right now. We have terrible internet, and Google seems to shine through pretty good, and YouTube. Google and YouTube. which are two of the same. Ain't that about a bitch? Anyway, so there's that. And what's going on in Hollywood? All these people coming out as being pedophiles and coming out as actual rapists and coming out as this and that, this has been going on for a very long time. And if you actually knew what goes on in Hollywood, what happens to the stars, what happens to the actual children who are trying to become stars, who start out young, they've all got some disgusting, terrible, wicked story to tell. And whether it happened to them or they have seen or know people. I think the church needs to talk about that. There's a lot of information on that. And I think the church needs to start educating the public. And why am I putting this all in the church? Who the heck else? Huh? Church is there to help. So help. That's all I'm saying. And the closed doors on the powers that be, which is the same thing. They need to tell you about what happens of the powers that be. All right? They really do. Now, they talk about Satanism and this and that and that. Listen, that stuff is real. Satanism, there is a huge, we're going to call it a big cult. It is a religion. But it is a huge thing that people of power practice, and they believe that it gives them that power. Sucking down. They believe that it gives it them that power. And they've been practicing this for a very long time. There's 13 families in power. And I do believe all 13 do practice Satanism. And this is a big thing. And the things that go on, for example, some of these older gentlemen, such as George Soros. It's been, I mean, you got to look into Soros, but I know that, I don't know which ones it are, but the older ones, I don't even know if I want to get into it. Look, just know the church needs to start talking about it. It's something that I don't want to see. Third yawn. Damn, I'm making these videos too late. Why don't they remind you to pay attention to the government? Now, politics, this and that. Listen, we are where we are because we have not been paying attention to the politics. Oh, politicians are just like that. But no, we elect them. If they're effing up, get them out of there. That's what's happening right now. We're cleaning house. There shouldn't be a two-party system. And at times, they're one of the same, okay? Democrats and Republicans. Right now, it makes it easy for us to identify ridiculousness. Because the far left, the Democratic Party is really getting ridiculous. They're stepping on, they're so sloppy. Their information's terrible. If you're really paying attention, it's downright disgusting. And I'm not saying the Republicans are any better, but I have a conservative mind, meaning that I pay attention to the past and present, and I want to hold on to tradition. So please keep that in mind. I really think the church needs to help out with that. And some of you can't understand what I'm talking about, and there are so many churches around me, but yet health, finance, teaching us what we need to know about today's time. I mean, church is really a school, isn't it? It's kind of a school for life. So some of the things I'm saying, the school should be, well, they're not. It's a problem. They're not. So right now, we're having some problems. The good word, like I said, is positive and it's uplifting. And we need that. But with all these institutions around me, somebody please say something. I think these churches really need to buckle down and become a little better for humanity. And who am I? And I didn't go to your church? Listen, yeah, I understand that. I understand that. But I don't think they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And this coming from someone like myself who was in Miami and watched a pastor. He had, listen, and this is okay, to have your face over all the vehicles, okay? Your face is on all the vehicles. But when you're up in, in your Cadillac Escalade, listen, man, no one says you can't have nothing, okay? But when you roll up on stage and you got 2 bling bling watches, bro, watches, not even one was a bracelet. Listen, I just think that there's too many fakes out there. And I want to weed through the fakes. We want to weed through the fakes. But I really think the churches can help out. Please let me know what you think. I very much appreciate you guys coming down. It's late. I think it's a full moon outside. I know it is, and it might be the super blue. Have a good one. Appreciate it.